No! None of that! Get that out of here. Ugh. Yeah, I think I got some explaining to do. It's been a while, hasn't it? Yeah, there's no underlying reason behind all of the time I spent not posting videos at all. I was just sort of lazy, and online school was making me worried a little bit. And yeah, I just sort of didn't do anything at all. Which kind of explains why I'm so late to this trend, am I right? Yeah, I think we should just get it going. So if you don't know somehow what an iceberg image is, well, it's just sort of this. And it starts out with like facts that most people might already know if you're like sort of a SpongeBob fan. And then at the bottom there's stuff that I might not even know. And it's probably gonna be very fun. This is the SpongeBob SquarePants Iceberg. Seasons 1 through 4. This probably refers to what people consider to be the golden age of SpongeBob. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. And considering they included season 4 here for some reason, it would be wrong of me to say these were the seasons before Stephen Hillenburg downgraded himself to executive producer. Because he did that after the movie, before season 4, but yeah. Usually people lodge season 4 into the golden age status because it still had a similar quality to the others. Battle for Bikini Bottom. This was surprising to see on the list, I gotta say. But yeah, I understand that the general gaming public probably doesn't know this game exists at all. But yeah, not that much to say about the thing itself. It was just sort of a collectathon game that was released in 2003 for the GameCube, PS2, and the original Xbox. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie. This is very vague, but I guess people just don't know SpongeBob had a movie? That's what I assume it means. Another assumption is that this refers to the tie-in video game released in 2004 for the same platforms that BFBP released in. I don't know, man. Sponge Out of Water. Oh, that is the second SpongeBob movie. Not much else to say. This cannot be referring to the tie-in game this time because that game is called Hero Pants. So let's move along. Just one Krabby Patty delete scene. What is this grammar? Yeah, I'm not even gonna touch on the abysmal English of this one. I just gotta say the episode's called Just One Bite. It's actually kinda well known that this episode had a deleted scene. So before Squidward gets to the Patty Vault, there used to be a scene where he activated the Krusty Krab's security system, which was just a bucket of gasoline over a door, and a robotic hand dropped a match on the gasoline to explode it. Some people say this was deleted just for being too violent. Some say it was a coincidence because this episode came pretty close to when 9/11 happened. I'm not really sure if the actual answer has ever been given by the SpongeBob staff. Shanghaied alternate endings. So yeah, many people don't know this, but the episode Shanghaied originally aired with Patchy, casting a vote for the kids to decide which character should get a wish at the end. The winner on the US was SpongeBob, but yeah, that obviously doesn't mean the other endings weren't produced. You can find them online somewhat easily. A Day with SpongeBob. This refers to a weird Amazon listing of a fake documentary SpongeBob movie kind of thing. It's some really weird stuff, and there's a link to a full-length video about it in the description by blameitonjorge.
Lucky winner is Seth.
Nicktoon Summer Splash. SpongeBob's Nicktoon Summer Splash was a summer block that ran from 2000 to 2001, and it featured various Nicktoon marathons, and it had SpongeBob and Patrick hosting it, Squidward co-hosting, and Sandy was in the control room. SpongeBob 4D Ride. This refers to a short film played as a ride in many theme parks, and it's usually referred to as only SpongeBob 4D, or sometimes even 3D, because the 4D comes from the fact that these rides would usually spray water on the visitors according to scenes on the film, and the seats would shake and move accordingly. But in other theme parks, it was only shown in 3D, with none of the 4D features, so, you know, that's the name change there. I Was a Teenage Gary deleted scene conspiracy theory. Yeah, this one sort of explains itself. But yeah, there's a conspiracy theory that is totally not true, by the way, and it's actually really stupid that there's a deleted scene in that one episode. The theory suggests that there would be an extra scene in between this weird transition here, and the scene was censored or something. It's just a conspiracy theory though. It doesn't even have that much proof to back it up. Lost astrology with Squidward shorts. Yeah, there were actually some short, low-budget astrology with Squidward commercials. They aired very little and eventually became lost media, until in 2009 when Nickelodeon India released all of them, and even more of them under a different name. It was called Undersea Horoscope. It's a Wonderful Sponge. It's a Wonderful Sponge was supposed to be a musical sort of thing. The interesting thing is that was the original title for the third SpongeBob movie that is gonna release this year. SpongeBob Rehydrated. This actually doesn't refer to the game. It actually refers to a short Matrix parody with SpongeBob characters done in CGI by the company that made the game SuperSponge. It was probably made as a test animation or something. It's pretty cool. The toenail scene. I have no idea why this is so low on the list considering how widespread this is. Or, well, at least I thought it was widespread. But yeah, in the episode How's Fancy, there's a scene where Squidward gets his toenail removed in a really gross way. Yeah, no one really knows why Squidward would have a toenail at all. Squidward torture porn. Now, this is something that I can sort of understand why it was so low on the list. It's a term used by many SpongeBob episode reviewers and stuff to point out episodes where the only thing that happens is everyone being mean to Squidward for almost nothing. Squidward's suicide. This refers to a really bad SpongeBob creepypasta called Red Mist, which is a story of how an episode that for some hilariously wrong reason got very far into production. The episode itself would have Squidward dreaming about a failed clarinet concert, because everyone laughed at his face while they were involved in the Red Mist. The Red Mist would then tell Squidward to do it, and he did it, with a gunshot to the face. That's more or less the story. It's pretty complicated. Obviously, it's just some internet fiction once again, but for some reason people still believe it was real, even though the creator himself said it was just a dumb creepypasta he made as a kid on a Reddit post. Huh. Incidentals 1 through 22. Incidentals are basically the codename for the background fish for SpongeBob. And I guess there's something about Incidentals 1 through 22? There's nothing on the wiki about it, although there's some trivia about Incidentals 1 through 11, which were produced for the episode Squeaky Boots, which was actually the second episode of his show in production order. And basically, 11 incidentals were produced for that episode, but for some odd reason, despite all of that, incidental number 18 shows up in the episode. Floorboard Harry. This refers to a scrapped character. It would be a piece of the Krusty Krab's floor. Apparently it was supposed to be a character in Graveyard Shift, but he got scrapped early on for Nosferatu. Sweating It. Sweating It refers to a code name written under an animation cell of SpongeBob sweating and almost blowing up. Last year, the higher-ups of the show confirmed on Twitter there was a deleted scene from the episode Texas, and it wasn't really a totally deleted episode concept or something like that. Yummers. The Yummer is, basically this thing. Yeah, I know, pretty spooky. And this was found inside the files for a Flash SpongeBob game, and apparently it was made as vent art by some of the guys that worked on the game. Yeah, it's a pretty confusing story, I don't know everything about it, but yeah, I guess the guy just sort of forgot to delete it. SpongeBob Beyond. The Tale of Blue is a fan series made by the 12th Art Group, an animation group presumably from Russia, which would kind of explain their broken English and the fact that they have a VK account. The show is basically its own thing, it has serious things, but it has SpongeBob and Patrick down there just to make the story progress, and they're sort of a comic relief or character or something. Haven't watched anything of it at all. Lost SpongeBob Blink-182 music video. Apparently there was a weird MTV block where video game characters would sing popular 2000s songs. And there was one of SpongeBob's characters singing that one song that's like, all the small things, and yeah, it was fully animated. They used the models from the game Lights, Camera, Pants. I'll link in the description a full-length video about it by RebelTaxi. It's really funny though. Mr. Krabs said, "Any porn in the store?" That is really stupid. It's just a misunderstanding of the thing that Mr. Krabs said in an episode. And here's the clip.
Any porn in the store?
Yeah, there's not much else to it. SpongeBob in Tehran. This is a really funny, fully CGI bootleg SpongeBob movie made totally in Iran. It's hilarious and everyone should watch it. It's not really known who made the movie, but people sort of guessed that it was made by Persian Studios in Mashhad. Those are the people that made the most well-known Persian dub of SpongeBob in Iran. And it sort of makes sense if you think about it, since they already made some illegal SpongeBob movies in there. I Like Square Butts music video. Yeah, apparently there was a Burger King music video. It was probably supposed to be an ad for SpongeBob toys, and for some reason it parodied Nicki Minaj's Anaconda song. I guess the idea just sort of didn't get approved because it's kind of weird seeing the Burger King himself singing about SpongeBob's ass. It's pretty funny though. Burger King SpongeBob balloon theft. As a Burger King promotion tie-in with the release of a first movie, there were giant SpongeBob inflatable balloons, and they would be sitting on top of Burger King's rooftops. And around December 2004, the SpongeBob balloons started disappearing from the restaurants during the night. Dozens of balloons of different states were stolen, and it also created the term sponge napping. Around 100 of them were stolen, and some of them were found. Some others were tried to be sold on places like eBay, but there are very few real listings of it archived. SpongeBob porn hidden in the SuperSponge game files. This is actually not that obscure, probably because DidYouKnowGaming talked about it in a video. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, there's some really peculiar art drawn by the game's artist of the characters, well, fucking, and you can find it in the game files. SpongeBob Square Nuts. Yeah, apparently that is a full-on porn parody of SpongeBob. I don't have that much else to say about it. I don't know why it's even on the iceberg, but okay. Deleted scene from the SpongeBob movie with canon SpongeBob and Patrick as humans. This is a sort of a storyboard draft that was discovered, and it kind of is an early draft of that one scene where they have to go home and they find David Hasselhoff and stuff. In that scene, they find Sandy, which was an actual squirrel too, just like Sponge out of water. And they go around the city to reach the shore, I guess. Along the way, the camera would pan to two guys dressed sort of like SpongeBob and Patrick, and they would act like the characters. Of course, with name changes and stuff. It's pretty interesting. Bikini Bottom is named after the Bikini Atoll. This is just a theory. But the theory claims that Bikini Bottom is located directly underneath Bikini Atoll, the Marshall Islands atoll where the US government conducted 23 nuclear testings during the Cold War. That also made people believe on the theory that SpongeBob's character is a mutant fish that have been exposed to the atoll's radiation, and that's why they're like this. SpongeBob will outlast civilization. That probably refers to the episode Spongehenge, where after many convoluted things happen to SpongeBob, he finally is free from the cave he hid in, only to find out that Bikini Bottom was in ruins. The episode ends with aliens from the future going to see the sponge henges he built, which sort of implies that the only thing left after all civilization was gone was SpongeBob. Burl really isn't Mr. Krabs' daughter. He's her sugar daddy. I hate you. Please stop, this is madness. Revenge of the Flying Dutchman fishing gear music. I haven't played this game at all, but apparently when you wear a specific sort of gear, some music for that specific gear plays. And it plays over the actual soundtrack for some reason. Which means that if you use the fishing gear for 90% of the game, 90% of the game might as well be the fishing gear song. So that's kind of funny. Nobody eats at the chum bucket because chum is ground up fish. This is a pretty weird theory, but I can sort of see how that can be implied. It basically got debunked in many SpongeBob episodes though, and the contents of this chum seem to be actually gross, and not just, I guess, illegal. I say that because no one would notice that the chum is fish, and if they did know, Plankton would be in jail for that, so the theory kinda digs its own grave there. Brazilian SpongeBob incident. I live here and I have zero idea what this is, but it might have something to do with a lawsuit incident, which might be vaguely related to SpongeBob, but who knows? Squidward is in a coma. There's no one anywhere that really supports this theory, and it kinda just sounds like the author is making it up, to be honest. Mr. Krabs is based off Czechoslovakian propaganda. I guess during the Cold War, Czechoslovakia's government would make propaganda around their communist regime, and they would extensively mention the greedy Americans that were like bugs or something. Yeah, admittedly, I didn't really research this too much because even if the theory makes a little bit of sense when you look it up, there's no reason for it to be real. It could be based off any propaganda that portrayed any country as greedy, so I have no idea what this is here. Krabby Patties are made out of jellyfish. This one actually has a basis. It's the episode Jellyfish Hunter. So why the hell would jellyfish jam go well with Krabby Patties, right? So the theory just sort of says that the patties are ground up jellyfish with normal meat seasoning. Not much else to the theory though. I don't think it's true. The show was produced for Adult Swim. There's no proof that I know of that says this is true, but some people think the show was originally gonna be an Adult Swim show. Probably because SpongeBob does sometimes tackle in adult themes and stuff. This theory can sorta make sense, but it really has no spine to it. SpongeBob movie workprint incident. A few families accidentally ended up watching an early version of the SpongeBob movie, complete with unfinished voice acting, and even the human SpongeBob and Patrick storyboards and all that. There's nothing that confirms that this happened 100%, other than taking this word from this random stranger on a weird forum post. But this sort of incident actually did happen quite a lot with some old movies, so I'm willing to accept that this happened. Hillenburg was trying to warn us. Alright. Episode 5572-220. Now that is a very interesting piece of trivia, so this weird code is production code for an episode. The thing is, this specific number doesn't exist in the production. It seemingly got skipped. The order would be like 5572-218, 5572-219, and then you'd assume episode 5572-220 is there, but the number got skipped and they went with 221. And that was the whole iceberg. That sure was a bunch of weird stuff. I'm not even gonna bother actually writing a complex ending for this video, because this took enough effort as it is, so I will, for the first time, actually ask you to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I know, it's cliche, but hey, there's a first time for everything, isn't there? And with all of that out of the way, you can get out now, and go do something with your life, man. Jeez.